The sun rose lonely over the crowded streets of Lagos. Amara sat on a small bed in her lodge room, staring at the card Chioma had given her. It was a simple white card with red letters that said, Queen Glow House, Beauty and Lifestyle. Underneath was an address in Surulere. She rubbed her fingers over the card, thinking, what kind of job is this? Will it help me survive? Her money was almost gone. She had only one meal left. Mama Blessing had already warned her. She had one more day to pay for the room or leave. Amara stood up slowly. Her body was still sore from the surgery. Every step she took reminded her of the pain, but she had no choice. She bathed, dressed in her neatest gown, and tied her scarf tightly. She stepped out, entered a small yellow bus, and headed to the address Chioma gave her. When she arrived, she saw a tall white building with large windows. A sign above the door said, Queen Glow House. She walked in, nervous. Inside, loud music played, and pretty girls with heavy makeup and shiny clothes laughed and chatted. Some were fixing their hair, others posed for pictures. Chioma saw Amara and smiled brightly. My baby girl, you came? Amara nodded shyly. Yes, I am here to ask about the job. Chioma led her to a room in the back, quiet and cool. You have the look, Chioma said. You have done your body, right? I can tell. You are perfect. Amara didn't speak. She waited to hear what Chioma had to offer. Chioma sat across from her. In this city, beauty is business. There are rich men who want pretty girls beside them, just to attend parties, go to dinner, or hang out. They pay well. Some pay for your apartment, clothes, even phones. Amara's eyes widened. You mean I will be going out with men? Chioma smiled. Not just any man. Clean, rich men. Not dirty street boys. You don't have to do anything you don't want. You just smile, look good, and follow instructions. That's all. Amara bit her lip. Is this safe? Chioma nodded. Very safe. I will guide you. You are not alone. Amara felt confused. This wasn't the life she imagined. But she also didn't want to sleep on the street. I will try, she whispered. Chioma claps her hands. Good girl. You will thank me later. Let's start with a makeover. She led Amara to a small beauty room where two women painted her face, fixed her hair, and gave her a new cloth. When Amara looked in the mirror, she gasped. Is this really me? She asked. Chioma smiled proudly. Yes, this is the new you. Now, you shine like a queen. That night, Amara followed Chioma to a party in a big hotel. Music played loudly. Men in suits laughed and drank. Chioma introduced her to a man named Tega, who wore a gold chain and smiled too much. Ah, so this is the flower you told me about? Mr. Tega asked, holding Amara's hand. She is fresh from the oven, Chioma joked. Mr. Tega offered Amara a drink. She took it, though she didn't like the taste. He sat close to her and whispered in her ear. She smiled politely, trying to hide her fear. Later that night, Chioma pulled her aside. You did well. He likes you. He might call you tomorrow. And guess what? Here is your first pay. She handed Amara an envelope filled with money. Amara stared at the money. It was huge, and the first cash she had received since she arrived in Lagos. "Thank you," she said quietly. But when she got back to her lodge and locked the door, she sat on her bed and stared at the mirror. Her eyes were painted, her lips red, her body shaped, her clothes shiny. She had money now, but inside she felt empty. "This is not what I dreamed," she whispered. She touched the bandages under her clothes and felt tears gathered in her eyes. "I wanted to be loved, not sold." But in a city where beauty could buy anything, Amara was slowly learning that not every price was worth paying. Days turned into weeks, and Amara's new life in Lagos grew busier. She no longer walked lonely through the streets like a lost girl. Now, she wore heels, makeup, and tight clothes that showed off her new body. Everywhere she went, people turned to look at her. But while she looked happy on the outside, her heart was still full of pain. She had gone to more parties, met more men, and collected more money. But each time she smiled for pictures or laughed at jokes she didn't find funny, something inside her felt cold. Every night, after removing her makeup and washing her face, Amara looked at the reflection in the mirror. "Who am I becoming?" she asked softly. One evening, Chioma came to visit her at the lodge. "You are doing well, Amara," she said, "but you need to move to a better place. This lodge is not safe." "I know," Amara nodded, "but I don't have enough money for rent yet." Chioma smiled. "One of my top clients, Chief Baron, is coming to Lagos tomorrow. He is rich and generous. If he likes you, your life will change." Amara looked down. "Do I have to meet him?" "Yes," Chioma said. "It's just dinner. Smile, look beautiful. He will take care of the rest." The next day, Amara wore her best dress and followed Chioma to a fancy hotel in Victoria Island. The lights were bright and the smell of perfume and expensive food filled the air. Chief Baron was an older man with a round belly and a loud laughter. He smiled when he saw Amara and said, "This one is fresh. You girls know how to find treasures." Amara forced a smile. They sat at a big table and ordered food. Chief Baron asked her few questions about herself, but she didn't say much. "You don't talk a lot," he said, laughing. "I like that." He touched her hand gently, and Amara felt her heart beat faster, not with love, but with fear. Later that night, Chioma pulled her aside. "Chief likes you. He wants you to come with him to Abuja for a weekend trip." Amara froze. "Abuja?" "Yes, he will pay for everything. You will return with plenty money, enough to get a house, even start your own business." Amara looked at Chioma's face. She saw pride and excitement there, but Amara's heart felt heavy. Back in her room, Amara couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. "Is this the dream I wanted?" she thought. "I came to Lagos to feel beautiful, to be accepted, but now I feel like I have lost myself." She remembered her parents, their small shop, their hard work, their smile. She thought of her mother's cooking, and her father's loud laugh. Tears ran down her cheeks. "I miss home," she whispered. "I miss being me." The next morning, Chioma called her phone. "Pack your bag. We are flying to Abuja today," she said. But Amara ended the call without a word. Instead, she picked up a mirror and looked at herself. She wiped off her makeup. She untied her scarf and let her natural hair out. She wore a simple dress and flat sandals. Then, she picked up the remaining money she had and left the lodge without a word. She took a bus not to Abuja but back to Enugu. The journey was long and her heart beat with fear. She didn't know what her parents would say. She didn't know if they would forgive her. When she reached the street where her father's shop was, the shop was closed. The sign was gone. She felt guilt rise like fire in her chest. When she got home, she knocked at the door. Her mother opened it. Her eyes widened in shock. "Amara!" Amara fell to her knees, crying, "Mommy, please, I am sorry. I am so sorry for everything. Please, forgive me." Her mother hugged her tightly, crying too. "You are my child. I have been praying for you. Come, let's go inside." Her father came out from the bedroom and gasped when he saw her. "Is this my daughter?" "I have made mistakes, Daddy," Amara whispered. "Please, forgive me. I want to make things right." That night, for the first time in a long while, Amara slept with peace in her heart. No bright lights, no makeup, no fake smiles, just love, real love. The next morning, Amara woke up to the smell of her mother's cooking. It was beans porridge, her favorite meal. For a moment, she forgot all the pain she had gone through. She was home, lying on her old bed, in her small but warm room. The sun peeked through the curtain, lightening up the familiar wall with old drawings and photos. She stretched and sat up slowly. Her body was still healing, but her heart felt lighter than it had in a long time. Her mother came into the room holding a tray. "Good morning, my baby. You must be hungry." Amara smiled weakly. "Good morning, mommy. Thank you." Her mother placed the tray on her lap. "Eat and rest. We will talk later. You need to get some strength back." As Amara ate, tears filled her eyes. It was not just the taste of the home-cooked food. It was the feeling of love, of being cared for without judgment. Later that day, Amara sat with her parents in the small living room. Her father's face was calm but serious. "Amara," he began, "what happened to my shop? I went to open it one morning and saw a new name on the wall. They said you sold it." Amara lowered her eyes. "I am sorry, Daddy. I took the papers and sold it. I used the money for surgery. I wanted to change how I look. I wanted people to love me." Her mother gasped softly. "Oh, Amara." "I was tired of the names, the laughter, and the rejection." Amara continued. "I thought if I looked like the other girls, people would stop calling me sick. I thought everything would be better." Her father nodded slowly. "My daughter, I understand your pain, but beauty should not cost you your peace or your soul." "I know," she whispered. "I learned the hard way." There was silence for a while. Then, her mother reached for her hand. "We forgive you. You are our daughter. We love you. Whether you are slim or fat, you will always be our beautiful daughter." Amara cried again, but this time, they were tears of healing. In the days that followed, Amara began helping around the house. She swept the compound, washed plates, and helped her mother at the small vegetable stand. Though their shop was gone, her parents were still working hard to survive. One evening, her father called her into his room. "Come and sit, Amara. I want to talk to you." She sat beside him. "You are very smart. Even as a child, you liked books. I still have your notebook where you wrote short stories." Amara smiled a little. "I remember. I wanted to become a writer one day." Her father nodded. "Then, maybe it is time to chase that dream. Not beauty, not money, but purpose, something real." His words touched her deeply. That night, Amara opened her old drawer and found her dusty notebook. She sat down and began to write again. The first words she wrote were, "I thought I needed to change my body to be loved. But what I really needed was to love myself first." She wrote and wrote, pouring out her story, the pain, the pressure, the lies, and finally, the healing. One day, her father took her to a local youth center where people shared stories and poems. Amara stood in front of a small crowd and read her story aloud. When she finished, the room was quiet. Then someone clapped, then another, and then the whole room was clapping. A woman walked up to her and said, "Your words touched me. You are strong. You are a voice for many girls." From that day, people started inviting Amara to speak to young girls in schools and churches. She told them, "Your body is not the problem. The world's expectations are." She became a light to others who once felt small. She no longer needed makeup to feel beautiful. She no longer needed parties to feel wanted. She had found something better, self-worth. Months passed, and Amara's life began to blossom like a flower after the rain. She was no longer the sad, quiet girl who once stared at the mirror, wishing for a new body. Now, she stood proudly before the young girls, telling them the truth about beauty, pain, and finding peace. Her small room at home had become a writing space. She bought a used laptop with the little money she saved from her speaking events. Day and night, she wrote stories, real stories that touched hearts, stories about girls like her. One afternoon, Amara received a phone call from a woman named Mrs. Ebele, who worked at a big publishing company in Enugu. "Hello, is this Amara Obi?" the woman asked. "Yes, ma," Amara replied, surprised. "I read your piece titled Stick Girl online. It was powerful. Would you be willing to turn your story into a book?" Amara's heart jumped. "A book? Really?" "Yes," Mrs. Ebele said. "Your voice is needed. Girls across Nigeria and even beyond need to hear your story." Amara held her breath, then smiled. "Yes, ma, I would love that." Her parents celebrated the news with tears of joy. Her father hugged her tightly. "You don't need to become someone else to be great, Amara. You just needed to find your true self." The next few weeks were busy. Amara worked hard with the publishing team. The title of her book was simple but strong: The Girl Who Wanted to Be Seen. The book was launched at the local event. People came from far and near. News reporters, school teachers, parents, and teenage girls filled the hall. Amara walked onto the stage in a simple white dress. Her natural hair was neatly packed. Her smile was bright and real. She took the microphone and looked around. When I was younger, people called me names. She began. They said I was too thin, too dry, too ugly. I believed them. I thought if I changed my body, I would be loved. I was wrong. The love I needed wasn't out there. It was inside me all along. The crowd clapped and cheered. Some mothers wiped their tears. Some young girls nodded in agreement. After the event, a small girl ran to her and hugged her. "Thank you, Auntie Amara." People laughed at me too. But now, I know I am special. Amara bent and hugged the girl. "Yes, you are. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Her story was shared on radio stations and blogs. She was invited to schools and youth programs. Everywhere she went, she reminded girls that beauty is not about the size, shape, or skin tone, but about heart, purpose, and confidence. One day, she received a message from Chioma, the lady who had introduced her to the fast life in Lagos. The message read, "I saw your story on magazines. I am proud of you. I wish I had made a better choices too. Maybe one day you can help girls like me find the way out." Amara replied kindly, "It is never too late to start again, Chioma. I am here for you if you ever need a friend." And she meant it. Years later, Amara opened her own center for young girls called Shine Within. It was a safe space where girls could learn, share their dreams, and grow in confidence. There were books and even a small library filled with African stories. Amara never forgot the pain she once felt, but she used it to build something beautiful. She was no longer hiding, no longer chasing fake love. She had become the girl she always dreamed of: strong, wise, kind, and loved. And now, when people saw her walking through the streets of Enugu, they no longer whisper, "See that thing, girl." They said with smile, "That's Amara Obi, the girl who turned her pain into power." And Amara, she smiled back every time and whispered to herself, "I am enough." True beauty is not about how your body looks on the outside. It is about loving yourself, believing in your worth, and using your pain to grow stronger. You don't have to change who you are to be loved. The right people will love you just the way you are. Thank you so much for watching. Your love and your support means everything to me. If this story inspired you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones to spread the inspiration. I would also love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting African stories. See you in the next video. Bye!